Urgent. Midway through the 2026 World Cup knockout stages, FIFA did something they almost never do. They changed the tournament's operational rules on the fly. For the first several weeks, every VAR decision was handled remotely from the video operation room inside this building in Dallas, Texas. But starting with the quarterfinal between France and Morocco, that changed. VAR officials were pulled out of the centralized Texas hub and relocated directly into the stadiums for every remaining match. FIFA's official statement framed the move as a way to improve operational reliability, but the timing suggested a more urgent motive, a desperate attempt to quiet a rising tide of complaints from teams over the quality of the officiating. To understand why FIFA felt forced to abandon its centralized system in the middle of the world's biggest sporting event, we have to look at the chain of on-pitch failures and external pressures that had been building since before the opening whistle. The tournament was already operating under extreme environmental and political strain. This chart tracks World Cup temperatures since 1930. 2026 data spikes into the 28-degree wet bulb zone, making it difficult for the human body to cool itself. In host cities like Dallas, Houston, Miami, and Monterey, these humid heat levels peak exactly during match windows. Beyond the weather, labor disputes were coming to a head. In Los Angeles, over 2,000 hospitality workers at SoFi Stadium, represented by Unite Here Local 11, threatened to walk off the job just days before the first match in the city. The workers' primary demand was a set of protections preventing Homeland Security and ICE from using their accreditation data for immigration enforcement at the tournament. With record-breaking heat and a strike narrowly averted, the atmosphere was already tense. Then, the officiating errors began to pile up. The underlying environmental tension soon spilled over into visible chaos on the football pitch. This diagram shows the mechanics of the chip-in ball offside technology. During the Croatia versus Portugal match, the automated mapping ruled against Croatia, though the visual evidence on the field appeared to show the players were onside. After the match, Luka Modric went public, arguing that the VAR system was no longer a tool for fairness, but was instead actively damaging his team's performance. England manager Thomas Tuchel was equally vocal, describing the tournament's officiating as erratic and unreliable, following his side's match against Mexico. The flashpoint for Tuchel was this red card issued to defender Jarell Quansah, a decision that was widely criticized for being inconsistent with earlier rulings in the tournament. As these high-profile technical and human errors accumulated, the basic trust between competing teams and match officials began to disappear. The loss of control was evident in the USMNT's victory over Bosnia and Herzegovina, where Folarin Balogun was sent off in a decision that sparked immediate controversy. Sideline discipline also fractured. In the same match, the Bosnian manager was cautioned after he physically grabbed the match ball while it was still in play. During France's knockout match against Paraguay, the officiating was criticized for failing to manage dark arts and aggressive fouls, leading to an ill-tempered game that neither side felt was properly regulated. In the absence of clear, consistent rulings, unfounded social media conspiracies began to spread, with some fans alleging that certain matches were being deliberately manipulated. By the time the quarterfinals arrived, the perceived lack of transparency on the pitch had created an atmosphere of extreme paranoia among both players and fans. This toxicity wasn't confined to the stadiums, it was manifesting in the real world as well. Following France's heated match against Paraguay, a Paraguayan senator used social media to target Kylian Mbappé with racist remarks. In the stands, viral videos documented Argentina fans racially abusing streamer IShowSpeed and hurling beer and insults at Egyptian supporters. Physical violence followed. A large brawl broke out at the official World Cup watch party on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. The violence reached a tragic peak in Copenhagen, where a Swedish police officer died after being assaulted at a World Cup fan zone. These incidents across different continents showed a tournament where order was breaking down simultaneously, both in how the matches were being refereed and in how the fans were behaving outside the gates. The 2026 World Cup stands as a case study in what happens when extreme climate risks, labor disputes, and failing technology collide. However, the weeks of tension also produced a significant win for organized labor that occurred just before the tournament began. The hospitality workers at SoFi Stadium won a historic contract that included the legally binding right to walk off the job if ICE or DHS actions threatened their safety inside the venue. While these workers successfully forced new, concrete protections into their industry, the tournament's own technical and security systems frequently struggled to maintain the same level of stability under pressure. FIFA President Gianni Infantino predicted that the 2026 Games would be the greatest event that humanity has ever seen. But the tournament's legacy is instead defined by the mid-event scramble to relocate VAR officials in a bid to restore basic confidence in the game's officiating. Whether or not that last-minute change actually fixed the integrity of the sport remains a major point of debate, as 2026 continues to be remembered more for its friction than for its football.